To step in. This guy takes as long as Baron Davis to get into the jump circle all night long. We've got to shake hands. We've got to do the bump. We've got to do everything else. I mean, come on, he's only going to play 24 minutes. This is probably needed because he won't see that much action.
Yeah, exactly. He said he toned it down this year. Not so much smiling and playing around before the game.
You know, he used to take the balls out of the ball rack and just fire them from midcourt.
Yeah.
You know, try practicing a shot you're going to use. And so he heeded that advice, and he's in the running for MVP as he has been, and a lot of people think he should get it. Here's the tip. It's controlled by the Bobcats. Bobcats in their home white with Bobcats orange and blue trim, and the Magic in their classic road royal blue with black and white trim. Jameer Nelson up and over for Howard early. Look for them to get him his points so he can sit.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to get his numbers, and that was just too easy. A simple screen roll, and he just turns the corner and over the top for a dunk.
DJ Augustine on the wing, guarded by Nelson. Kwame. Augustine has a ball knocked off Augustine and out of bounds. So a turnover early here for the Bobcats. The math is simple. Win and carry this issue to Miami no matter what Indiana does. Lose, and if Indiana wins, chances of going to the playoffs disappear altogether. Gilbert Arenas. Turkoglu from the corner. Rebound tipped out to Augustine. He'll finally get it. The Magic have locked in their playoff position at 4. They have home court advantage. They'll face Atlanta in the first round. Here's Henderson. He's having a great finish to the regular season here. Kwame in the middle, diverts some traffic, has that soft hook just turned aside, and now a steal by Arenas. On the pass from Diaw, the diagonal. Diaw comes back, atones for that with the steal. Here's Cunningham at the foul line, and in one motion goes up and hit.
Good shot there, Dante. Bobcats take the first shot available. Go back to your rules that Paul Silas set upon the coming head coach. First shot available, put it up.
Brandon Bass challenged there by Kwame Brown. Bass had a pretty good game against the Bobcats down in Orlando, and I think if you're looking at postseason awards, most improved is one of those. 2 blocks now for Dwight Howard, who's had 27 games of 3 or more. Here is Arenas for 3. Arenas broke out of a deep slump against the Bobcats on February 27th with 4 3-pointers.
And the start may get Arenas his rhythm back. He didn't play particularly well since coming over in that trade. He's used to starting, different coming off that bench. He may get his rhythm for the playoffs. He can get a couple of starts.
Nice rhythm shot there by Gerald Henderson. Makes it 5-4.
And Gerald can attest to just what I was talking about. Once he got in that starting lineup, his game just took off.
Here's Bass, stripped of the ball by Kwame Brown, who's defended him nicely 2 times in a row. Augustine back into front court as the Bobcats seek to take the lead. Augustine, the floater is good. Bobcats up 6-5.
Nice. They get in the paint. Here's another steal.
And there's a steal. Here we go. 3-pointer. No, but 2 for Gerald Henderson. Bobcats taking this one seriously here. And the Magic taking a timeout, and Stan Van Gundy has to remind them that they have to take it seriously too. There is something for them to fight for. They can put the Bobcats down and out. But right now it's the Bobcats on the run here. 8-5. Timeout on the court. 9:06 left to go. DJ Augustine had a dream 3, but the dream's kept alive by Gerald Henderson. 3 and a good start, which is just what Dr. Curry prescribed for this team. They dug themselves a hole in the last 3 games we showed you graphically, and it got deeper each night. And you can vote now for the Lady Cats. They've advanced from the first round, actually the second round. They're in the 3rd round now, competing against Milwaukee. They nosed out by 1%. The Heat Dancers, and now they're going up against the Milwaukee Bucks Dancers for the right to meet the New York City Knicks Dancers in the Eastern Conference Finals. Bobcats.com. And that's a turnover by Arenas, trying to get it down to Brandon Bass, who kind of short-armed that catch.
Arenas went away and He didn't have a passing angle. He wanted to throw it behind his back, and Bass just thought, well, maybe he's not throwing it to me. He didn't go after it.
No, I don't think that's what Stan Van Gundy had in mind. Hey, let's turn it over after this time.
Yeah, no.
Bass with a rebound. Turkoglu and Nelson out there on the perimeter. They're looking for Howard here. And I guess the edict was, hey, he's not going to play long. Let's get his 30 in the first half. And Kwame takes the foul. And really at this point, Dal, even though you only have 9 players and not really any backup for Kwame at center, you just can't hold back for fear of fouling out.
No, you have to lay it all on the line. Because you must win this basketball game. There's no use saving fouls or saving energy. I'll let it all go.
Well, Howard on the free throw line, where it's been a challenge this year. He had a good night against the Bobcats. Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. Howard, leading scorer for the Magic at 23.2, 10th best in the league. But he's a 60% free throw shooter.
On that particular move, Howard, I think, was a step out of his sweet spot with that hook. He just baited Kwame into that foul, kind of forced his way to that foul.
But therein, you can read a way to defend Dwight, if you can get away with it, driving him off the area that he likes to camp out in. Henderson and Augustine on the exchange. 5 on the shot clock now. Cunningham with it. Kwame has to finish, and does. I've been scared by the buzzer.
Wow. Didn't have time to think about it.
No.
Catch, release. But watch how the Magic bigs, Bass, Howard, Turkoglu, watch how they jump out on the pick and roll. Arenas.
Wow. Tell me he's going to do this again. Now, I think you're right. Coming off the bench is not his thing.
Watch how the Magic defend pick and roll. They really get out and stop penetration of the ball handler.
A whistle and a foul underneath. It's going to be on Jameer Nelson. Well, I mean, they're one of the best defensive teams in the league by percentage and by points allowed. They're right up there in the top 5 in both categories. Bass comes out. Ryan Anderson comes in. Ryan's been struggling of late, but he has good credentials from behind the arc.
And he has the green light whenever he has a free look.
Inside, Kwame taken away by Howard, who is fronting him. 3-on-4 break. Nelson, Arenas, who's free anywhere. 3 3-pointers for Gilbert Arenas. And the Magic step ahead here, 12-10.
Each shot has been a little bit deeper. So Gerald Henderson is going to have to pick Arenas up right as he crosses half court.
3 doesn't go. The rebound comes out to Jameer Nelson. Way out on the wing, Arenas inside. That's what happens when you have success on the perimeter. You'll get one-on-one coverage, if that, on Dwight Howard.
Yep, outside in for the Magic with the threes, and then Arenas, he's still a point guard, able to find Howard under the rim.
This is an 8-point run inside. Back out for the 2, and that is going to be Dante Cunningham. We stop the bleeding there, and they're just 2 down. Here in the midway point of this first quarter. Nelson. Out and show high, and they force the ball in another direction. Arenas looking for Howard, hoping he's there. Tipped by Anderson, rebounded by Cunningham. Arenas had no clue where Howard was. And it almost worked. I'm sure with Dwight Howard, you said get it in the same altitude, and I'll take care of things. Here's Cunningham, shot blocked by Turkoglu. And a ball lost off the Bobcats, or is it? Tony Brothers says it's going to be a jump ball.
6 eyes, nobody saw it.
What could they be looking at? So Cunningham will step into the jump circle against Jameer Nelson. Turkoglu's trying to move Nelson. This is like a hockey face-off. It's fun. Who's going to take it? And now they say that Turkoglu's involved, so Nelson comes off the floor, and Chris Duhon, former Duke star, Slidell, Louisiana, is on the floor now. Did not play against the Bobcats.
Shot clock did not reset.
Here's DJ, no. Tip by Kwame, no. Hung on the rim. Who's got it? It's going to be Orlando. Turkoglu comes out. Arenas. And his pass stolen. He's got 2 turnovers, but 4 threes. Henderson leaps to the rim and scores. Ties it up at 14.
Yeah, Gerald Henderson, good open court player that time. Just a careless pass by Arenas. Gerald Henderson with the steal and finish off the break.
Duhan. Here's Howard against Kwame. No help. Kwame doing his best. Howard gave Howard a shot, and the officials let it go. Figuring it takes a lot to knock Howard off the block and his shot.
He's really improved his soft touch, Dwight Howard, around that rim.
Well, getting hit as much as he does. Cunningham out to Henderson. Here's D out, turns the corner. Nice ball handling, whips it out to Augustine for 3. Turkoglu with a rebound. Again, they're looking for Dwight. Kwame alone. He's got 1 foul already. And that's the result. You don't want that outcome right there. Here comes Turkoglu for 3. He defended it too well, and then the 3 goes up, and the Magic now lead by 5.
Yeah, you get Dwight Howard to take a shot you want him to take outside of his sweet spot. Anderson over the top, and Turkoglu knocks down another long triple.
Timeout on the court. Dwight Howard with a good start. 7 points. No rebounds. No fouls. Cats basketball here on Sports South. 4:16 left in the first quarter. Here's the simple story. If the Pacers win, Bobcats lose. Pacers get the playoff berth. Bobcats and Bucks are eliminated. Bobcats elimination number is 2. Milwaukee's elimination number is 1. They're playing in Miami, but that may be a senseless game. So we'll see what happens here. Indiana is in the driver's seat, but if the Bobcats win this game, they stay alive till Friday's game with Miami, and the Bucks are still out. Our Presbyterian Hospital inactive report. Daniel Orton hasn't played this season. The Bobcats got a job. Sean Livingston, Joel Prisbilla, and also Eddie Nahara, Tyrus Thomas, Sean Livingston, Steven Jackson. Stop me when we get to halftime.
Steve, I told you that Turkoglu's 3 was deep.
Yeah.
He just walked by me and said, "Hey, that was your range."
He did it. Whistling foul. It's going to be on Quentin Richardson. This is a team loaded, yes, with 2 guards. They got a 2 guard for every position. Yep. And they got guys who act like 2 guards.
And a lot of their 2 guards can switch over play to 3 as well. And they're pretty good defenders.
Ooh, nice concentration by Kwame Brown. I'm not sure if he saw that pass coming from Cunningham. He put it in, and he's going to the free throw line.
I like the left hand that Kwame used. Again, knowing if he had shot that with the right, Dwight Howard may have gotten a block. But you're right, Steve. Good catch and finish. You see Howard almost went up. Kwame switched to the left, and that's what got him free.
Kidding me? Howard would have sent that to Pineville. All right, we've got another Kwame hitch. And you know, they got caught on this twice in Orlando. You'd think they know by now.
Yeah, I know it. That's got to be in the scouting report.
Well, whether it is or not, who paid attention? Kwame, lately, he's been scoring off those hitch misses.
You know, every team gets scouting reports. Every player gets a report about each player and their tendencies, their weaknesses, strengths, their plays. And very few players read them. In fact, I had a coach one year that at the last page of the scouting report, he said the first person that comes and sees me gets $100.
No one showed up?
No one showed up.
Oh, my goodness. that tells you something. Because, you know, those guys get into shooting games all the time. They didn't even have to lift a finger and they could get $100. How could they not like that? Can't like that, though. Turnover in front of the Bobcats bench. And let's bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast crew, who as a coach knows very well what we're talking about. Stephanie Reddy.
I certainly do, guys. When I was a coach in the D-League, I was responsible for writing those scouting reports. It got to the point where I felt like I was wasting my time, so we developed a system where the guys would give us the scouting report based on the report we handed them. Yeah. So right before the game, we'd go around the locker room and they would tell us what their guys' tendencies were, what their objectives were. It's the only way you're going to make them read it.
That's right.
3-point
Otherwise, you're just practicing your penmanship, aren't you?
Well, I'll tell you what was in bold writing. The Bobcats scouting report about the Orlando Magic shooters. Guard the three-point shot, Steve. They are 5 of 7 in this first quarter.
They hit 9 on the Bobcats last Friday. We got a whistle, and Ryan Anderson is draped all over Kwame Brown like a bad motel drape. You know that one that you can't move? You got that stick up there? Come on.
Yeah.
I want to see outside. It was a sheer. Okay, we've gone there and gotten the T-shirt. Here we go. DJ Augustine to the top. Here's Henderson. Yes. Gerald Henderson, the Bobcats. Fighting back here, down 3.
Boy, Hendo's almost automatic from that little elbow pin down screen.
That should have been a turnover by Duhan. The Magic somehow caught it. Duhan delivers inside. Ryan Anderson, one of his rare 2s.
Oh, you cannot let that happen. Ryan Anderson with a dunk.
Somebody's saying, he didn't get a 3. I didn't let him go to the perimeter. Anderson.
It's almost worse.
Kwame inside, DJ White. And he's fouled, and that might be the second straight here on. No, this is going to be on Turkoglu. So DJ White getting ready to go to the free throw line. Gilbert Arenas and Jameer Nelson getting ready to come back in.
That looks like he just woke up 24 hours a day. He's a basketball player and a pretty good one.
Substitution.
DJ on the line. Turkoglu comes off.
And he's really happy to be back in Orlando. He really didn't want to leave.
No.
When he signed that free agent deal, they just didn't want to give him the money. But
and he didn't like it in Toronto.
No.
Talked his way out of there to Portland. Oh, no, he didn't like it. It went to Portland originally, then to Toronto.
Right.
I'm sorry. How could he not like it in Portland? I can get by on 3 days of sunshine. Here's Brandon Bass.
In June?
That summer. McGuire comes into the ball game and gets himself a rebound. Up in the front court, Cunningham. Augustine draws 2 defenders with him. That means McGuire's open. Shot clock down to 10. Cunningham drops it off inside. 5 on the shot clock, and now we get a foul coming up. Bailout foul here on Gilbert Arenas. Wow, with 4 on the shot clock.
Well, it was good presence of mind by Gerald Henderson not to settle for that 3. He had 4 seconds, so that's plenty of time to put it on the deck, get to the rim, and that's what he had in mind. Drew the foul, and he'll get to the free throw line.
Think he would have done that earlier in the season?
No.
He'd probably lifted up a bad shot from 3-point range.
Yep.
And looked over at the bench.
Or passed it off to a teammate. Say, here, you take it. I want to stay in the game.
It's been a lot of fun watching this young man really acclimate to the NBA, and we haven't even reached halfway through the limit yet.
Yep. I think this summer he needs to improve the range on his jump shot.
Yep.
And also learn to get by his defender so that he can get to the rim and use that athleticism and get to the free throw line, because he's a very good free throw shooter.
He has been lately. Ryan Anderson shot is boarded by Cunningham. You know, last night I thought he actually looked for a 3 last night, and that, you know, and that hasn't happened.
Well, when he's able to knock down that 3 consistently, because he's so far away from the basket, he can use his quickness to get around that defender who has to come up and play the 3 to get around him and get to the rim.
The basket is going to count. There's going to be a foul on the Bobcats after. Now Stan Van Gundy is. Let's watch this.
Oh, nice spin
nice
move
move
right there. Boy, that was nice. And the whistle had blown.
Okay, basket is good. Inadvertent whistle, stop play. So the result of the play is good. So you do the next thing what you do after a good basket, you take it out. So that's what Orlando's going to get to do.
That was a nice move by Henderson.
Beautiful move. Heard us talking about it. Nelson trapped, comes to Anderson. Second three-point attempt, no. Gerald Henderson steps into the rebound. Bobcats up one. Shot clock and game clock are about even, and Paul says no quick shots. Let's aim for one here. Give him more time on the clock. He would have said hurry up. Augustine at the top. They don't buy the screen. That allows McGuire to float. Cunningham to hit the three. Now that's not necessarily in his repertoire either.
No.
In fact, that's his first three of the season. Two by Jameer Nelson. But the Bobcats outscore Orlando 9-2 in the last 2 minutes and 13 seconds and will hold the lead after one. Dwight Howard makes his last appearance in Charlotte this season and has a presence at both ends, but DJ Augustine making his presence felt early for the Bobcats, who lead by 2 after one. Second quarter, let's visit the first quarter stats brought to you by Subway Restaurants. Start your day off right at Subway Restaurants and build your better breakfast every day with our tasty breakfast sandwiches. Try your favorites on flatbread or on a muffin melt. Subway, eat fresh. I guess the big thing we like here is the rebounding, Del.
Like the rebounding. You know, Orlando's a very good rebounding team. Bobcats up 6, doubled up in that category. Do not like the fact that they were 5 of 9 from 3. Now you say, can the Magic continue to shoot threes at that pace?
Maybe. They don't have to at that pace. They're on target to get 10 or more. Garrett Temple starts the second quarter. His pass to DJ White's thrown away. Here's a 3-on-2 break. Arenas to Richardson. Brandon Bass down the lane, and he's fouled by DJ White.
Foul charge with number 8, DJ White.
2 shots coming here to Brandon Bass. And Brandon Bass, really one of those candidates for most improved. He was 5.8 points last year, on the verge of being traded according to his agent, and now up to 11.2. He's safely in that starting lineup, and when they traded Marcin Gortat, they really needed Brandon Bass's contribution.
They really did, Steve. And you saw right there, he can knock down the 15, 18-foot shot, but he can also show it, put it on the ground, and he cleans up the rebounds that Dwight Howard cannot get.
A lot of teams were interested in him in the offseason. Bobcats inquired about him. But Bass hung with Orlando with a pair of free throws there. And don't forget, this team gave up Rashard Lewis in the Gilbert Arenas trade, so they got small in a hurry.
Yeah, you talk about Bass, he's not as tall as your average power forward. He has a nice body.
Foul charge, number 1, Gilbert Arenas.
Step outside again, knock down that jumper, and draw the big man away from the basket.
Arenas has picked up his second foul. Matt Carroll on the floor. Matt's had a pretty good run lately. Last 4 games, averaging 12 points. Double figures in 4 of the last 5. Garrett Temple giving DJ Augustine some rest. Ball knocked away by Arenas. Here's Diaw on the baseline. Diaw looking for the basket and gets it. And he breaks into the scoring column for the first time tonight. Bobcats up here by 2.
Nice move by Boris. He kept going left until he knew he had enough space and a good angle to shoot that little running left hook off the glass.
Arenas, wow, guarded by Carroll. He made it on the backup. That's his first 2-point basket of the night. He has 11. He's perfect from the field. 4 for 4. 3 for 3 from 3-point line. Diaw. Here he goes. Takes Bass to the hoop, and anybody else who wants to challenge him. Diaw back-to-back buckets, and the foul's going to be on Ryan Anderson.
And that's going to be there because you see how Bass stayed with the ball handler on that pick and roll. So a quick snap-back pass to Boris, who set the screen. He'll have that little jumper or be able to put it on the floor that time to the rim.
Here's Earl Clark. He'll take Anderson's spot. That's Anderson's 3rd foul. And Clark is another piece that they acquired from Phoenix in the Vince Carter trade. Jason Richardson, who we won't see tonight, and Hedo Turkoglu, the other 2.
Clark was in the rotation about a month ago, but fell out. Did not play at all. We were in Orlando last week.
Yeah, they like his upside. Here's Arenas again. 5 for 5. Same shot as last time, although not as closely guarded. 33-32.
Well, you know it. He gets on a roll. He is a tough cover, even though he's a little heavy right now.
Matt Carroll for 3 from the corner. Talking about being on a roll.
Oh, Matt, no hesitation. He is seeing a big basket and confident in that shot.
Here's Arenas. Now this time Bobcats ride 2 out on him. Quentin Richardson had 14 against the Bobcats last week. Brandon Bass and Earl Clark steps in and gets the tip in. Bobcats by 2. A win keeps their playoff chances as slim as they are still alive into Miami on Friday night. Here's White. Temple on the wing. It's under 10. Diao double team, leaving Matt open for 3 out front. No. Tip taken by, oh, nice play, DJ White. Going away from the basket, and he rolled it in.
And Boris kept that ball alive for DJ White. Clean it up.
White with 4. Henderson leads the Bobcats with 12. Arenas leads Orlando with 13. Here's Arenas. First miss tonight. Temple up ahead. Here's McGuire. Diao attacks from the top. He's got a quickness advantage on Bass, and he is fouled by Jameer Nelson, or is it going to be Bass? Bass with a blocking foul. Timeout coming here at the 8:46 mark. The Bobcats keeping the Magic 2 possessions behind here. Pretty good play, especially when Matt Carroll could drill that 3. Bobcats up 4 in the second. 8:46 left to go here in Charlotte, and the Bobcats are up by 4. Next telecast comes your way Friday night. Bobcats take on the Miami Heat. Coverage here on Sports South starts at 7 o'clock with Bobcats Live. The Bobcats doing their best to make sure that that game means something to their playoff hopes. All they got to do is win tonight, and that'll be the case. Bobcats and the Heat on Friday. Bobcats taking their run. 3 out of their last 5 games are going to be against Southeast Division opponents, including this one here tonight. We got Atlanta to close the season, and then Miami on Friday. Sandwiched around a Sunday date with Detroit, and then our last road game at New Jersey, which will be no picnic. Newark, picnic, not a number either. Here's Diao, and he gets pushed off the ball by Bass. Obviously, Orlando's not going to double Diao when he gets the ball inside. Bass gets to a critical point in his thinking, says, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm in trouble.
If they don't double, Boris should have his way in that low post with Brandon Bass. Because you said it, Steve, he has quickness, ball handling ability, and good footwork.
And it's not good when both players know it. Up front.
That's right.
Into the lane over Earl Clark. Yes, it'll go. 40-34, Bobcat.
DJ, you usually see him spotting up around that foul line extended. That time put it on the floor and got a shot.
Just got a report that Indiana's leading Washington by 20. Why am I not surprised? Brandon Bass off the glass, 40-36. So that increases the urgency here for the Bobcats.
Indiana must have got the memo too.
Yeah.
With a big 2 on it.
Take care of this. We need a little victory trot here before the playoff. White on the top. Here's Temple into the lane. White at the elbow.
That's what I'm talking about. Good drive and kick by Garrett Temple as well. Staying under control.
Back-to-back baskets by DJ White. He's got 8. Richardson. The pass, Nelson, Clark. Nelson controls it. Arenas from the corner. No. And a jam there by Earl Clark on the second try.
Earl Clark with the energy. He is just attacking the offensive boards. That's 2 stick backs for him as he just entered the game.
42-38. Got a whistle and a foul coming up. That's a nice pass by Boris Diao. Who's the foul on? It's going to be Quentin Richardson. Diao's glaring at Violet Palmer. Why'd you stop that? That's the second for Richardson. Nelson and Bass go out. Chris Duhon and Dwight Howard come in. Dominic McGuire will go to the free throw line. McGuire out of Fresno State, started his college career in California. Started his college career, or his pro career, in Washington. And he's been thrown into the breach here as a defensive stopper and a rebounder. And he's done very well in both roles. Bobcats 6 of 7 this quarter from the field, and perfect on the foul line after those 2 hits. Increases the lead to 6. Here's Howard. Garrett Temple tried to dig it out. Duhon way across the court. Arenas blocked from behind. And now Bennett Salvatore from over in East Gaston makes the call on Dominic McGuire. So change the block to a foul on McGuire and send Arenas to the free throw line.
Crowd doesn't like the call, but had a good angle.
Yep.
And it was a foul.
So he can call him from the shores of Lake Norman if he wants to.
As long as there's no trees in between.
No, most of them blew down.
Exactly, they did.
Well, we had some weather here while we were in Cleveland. We saw the northern end of that. McGuire comes off and Gerald Henderson comes in. And here's Gilbert Arenas. Arenas is 79% free throw shooter. Came over in the trade for Rashard Lewis. Thank you very much. Here's Boris out on the wing. He backs in on Richardson. He's got a size mismatch there. 5 on the shot clock now. Boris, that big gallop and carry, snatched down in midair by Howard. Let it go on the way down. Arenas. Off the bank. Gilbert Arenas. There aren't going to be many passes from number 1.
No,
he's turned it over twice. He said, I don't like that.
He's feeling it tonight. Took a long 3 that was a heat check. I thought that might have threw him off the rhythm a little bit, but he got back in it with the free throw shots. Gerald Henderson. That's the exact same move that Arenas gave him. At the body contact, space, and then kissed it off the glass.
Bobcats up here by 5. 5:51, playing better than they have, and not only the 3 games they lost, but many of the 4 games they won. Temple gets the loose ball after Richardson's denied. Diao at the top. Here comes the jumper by Henderson. It is good. Talk about feeling it. Over the last couple of games, Gerald Henderson, he's already at 16.
And that sweet spot again. Time just a couple of feet behind that elbow. He knew it was good.
Charlotte has increased their shooting percentage. Oh, there's a push by Dwight Howard. Kwame Brown was pushed out of there like confetti, and Violet Palmer caught him. Timeout on the court with the Bobcats up 7.
Time Warner Cable Arena, Bobcats are up over the Orlando Magic, and in Bobcats Live, the pregame show, Del Curry and I talked about the MVP race, and Del gave us who he thought would be in contention for winning that. So I figured, you know what, I'm going to go talk to Dwight Howard before the game, and I asked him what his thoughts were, and he agreed with Del in terms of the criteria. He thinks that it should be awarded to the person who is the most valuable to their team. Well, I rebutted to Dwight, well, Dwight, there's 30 of those guys in the league because there's 30 teams. And he went on to say for the entire season, meaning if you take that person out of the puzzle, it will completely change the outlook of the team. Well, then he asked Ryan Anderson to chime in, and Ryan Anderson said, I don't think there's a question who should be the MVP. He makes people look like they're in high school compared to how skilled he is. He's our general, and all you have to do, guys, is look at the numbers. Dwight Howard is right there in the MVP contention.
All you have to do is look at Boris Diaw's last shot.
Yeah.
And see that block was his first rebound of the game.
Yeah, and
that's amazing.
When Howard went out, the Bobcats got to the front of the rim. He's back in the game with jump shots.
7 on the shot clock. A ball knocked out of bounds by Orlando. Bobcats at Miami on Friday night, and home here Sunday, early evening at 6 o'clock against Detroit. Here is Henderson with a jumper. This one's off. Shot clock was on his back. Duhan runs it up now for Orlando. Magic trail here by 7. Turkoglu. Chased there by Cunningham. Earl Clark.
3 seconds.
Outside Duhan for 3. No. Rebound comes away to Cunningham. Garrett Temple finds Henderson on the run. 4:25 left to go here in the first half. Bobcats enjoying a 7-point lead. Garrett Temple from the elbow for 2.
Nice patience right there by the young fellow. All the pick and roll over, knocked down the shot. Steve, the Bobcats 62% from the field in this game.
9 for 12 this quarter. Inside, Duhan's pass knocked out of bounds by Kwame. This is their biggest lead of 9 points. 50-41. No matter what Indiana does, if the Bobcats win, Indiana can't close it out. Their magic number would be reduced to 1. But I think the Bobcats want to carry this to South Beach. Arenas at the top. Anderson hampering him. Surprise pass to Duhan. Shot clock went off, and the ball goes out of bounds. It's going to be Orlando ball. Violet Palmer said a Bobcat touched it. Wow. How could that be? Well, let's see.
Hard to see from that angle.
It's not conclusive.
But the way DJ White ran after the basketball and then tried to sell it makes you wonder.
Howard knocks Henderson to the floor, and now a foul coming up. And it's going to be on DJ White. And
wow. That's good defense by Henderson right there. No call. And DJ White did the right thing and not let Howard get a shot off.
2 subpar calls. One on the out of bounds and the other on no call there when Henderson set up well enough in time to draw the charge. You know, as challenged as Dwight Howard is off the foul line, and still would rather have the foul called. Five-time All-Star. A young man who is right front and center, and now too long. 10 seconds. He missed 1 foul shot and took his sweet time on the second.
Wow.
And did he pick up a technical?
Yes, he did.
Oh, boy, that's 18.
Did the exact same thing he did the last time he picked up the technical. Threw the ball away from the official and in the front row where the photographers are.
So he's got a 1-game suspension coming because that's his 18th technical.
Yep. Watch this right here. They're asking for the ball. He looks right at Violet Palmer and throws it in the opposite direction to the camera crew.
Henderson hits the free throw. The Bobcats lead by 10, plus they have the ball on the technical by Dwight Howard. That's his 18th technical of the season, so he automatically gets a 1-game suspension next time out. Of course, that plays right into Stan Van Gundy's hands to get him to rest. But every other technical foul, and it builds up through the playoffs. They don't start over in the playoffs. Here's Henderson to the corner. Cunningham for 2. Bobcats bearing down here in the second quarter.
Well, they are really shooting lights out. 64%.
Here's up to Arenas. Down low, facing is Clark. He'll take it, miss it. Landing basket and ready to check in. We may have seen the last of Dwight Howard here. Temple, top of the floor. And the ball thrown at the feet of Kwame Brown. A horrible pass. Duhan. Turkoglu feeds to Howard. The ball kicked out of bounds by Cunningham. Timeout on the court. We have 2:46 left to go here in the second quarter. It's the Bobcats by 12 over the Magic.
Time Warner Cable Arena, you're looking at Dwight Howard right there from the Orlando Magic. Well, as Steve Martin mentioned, he did receive another technical, but let's start here. Look at Gerald Henderson signaling 10 because you only are allowed 10 seconds to shoot the free throw. Gerald Henderson's actually counting it out for the officials. I spoke to Dwight Howard before the game about this very thing. He says jokingly they waited until the 78th game, obviously exaggerating to that number, to start calling the 10 seconds. I have not changed my free throw shot at all since the beginning of the year. I don't know why they've just recently started calling it. Then he goes on to talk about his technicals. You can see right here, he leads the league in technicals. He said he's the only person that has a high number of technicals that hasn't had a single one rescinded and actually served a suspension. He believes that all eyes are on him. He's becoming a rather large target, and that's why now he's seeing more 10-second calls at the free throw line.
Inside, Howard is fouled, this time by Dante Cunningham. Oh yeah, when you are 7 feet tall and you have the body of Adonis and you are as active as he is, you are bound to get off some attention.
I thought he had a technical rescinded at one point this year.
Yeah, I think he did have one, but he made up for it.
Yeah.
Still got himself ahead of schedule, so he's going to miss. They play Chicago Sunday in Orlando, and he will miss that game on suspension unless they rescind that technical. Howard gets the first free throw. 2:38 left to go here in the first half. I'm just surprised that I doubt as if we'll see Howard in the second half unless it gets a little bit more out of reach, and then maybe Stan says, look, let's just back up the truck here and retire for another day. You don't want any injuries going into the playoffs in a game that means nothing to you. Ball turned over by the Bobcats. Now Orlando is trying to kind of free substitute this thing in. They got Richardson and Nelson ready to zoom into the game, but the ready to play signal has been made. So Duhan's got to stay. So does Arenas. Arenas at the top. Duhan trying to find a way into Howard. He'll drive himself. Miss. The ball recovered there by Garrett Temple. Temple up in the front court. And he turns it over. Arenas gets it back. Sometimes Garrett gets a little ahead of himself.
Yeah, just he's a little unsure what to do with the basketball. Maybe he hadn't played. Maybe it looks like he hadn't played a lot of point guard.
No. He's played a lot of time in this second quarter, though. And his team has not only kept the margin, but it has let it grow. Cunningham struggling out of the post there with Arenas. Now finally turns and hooks. DJ White playing volleyball with it. Turkoglu comes out of there. Henderson in tow. Henderson tried to get the foul. Now Turkoglu on the drive. Bobcats did not have a foul to give in that instance. Foul coming up on Gerald Henderson, and Turkoglu will go to the line. Earl Clark
Substitutions for Orlando returning
into the ball game.
Jameer Nelson and Quentin Richardson.
And Brandon Bass looks like he's going to go out.
For Orlando, Hedo Turkoglu.
Turkoglu goes to the line. Turkoglu had his probably most efficient years with the Magic. The first time he was there.
Yeah.
Indiana up 68-51 over Washington. An Indiana win coupled with a Bobcats loss, and that's important. It has to happen in that fashion for the Bobcats to be put out of the playoff run. If the Bobcats win here, their number for eliminations reduced to 1. And Indiana has 3 games remaining after this, 2 of them at home.
Steve, the Bobcats up 2 at the end of that first quarter, where the Magic was 5 of 7 from 3. They're now 5 of 14.
Wow.
They missed their
0
last
for 7. Amazing. Why? Well, you were right. You can't hit that pace all night. Not when the Bobcats aren't doubling inside on Howard. Comes the pass for Henderson. It's knocked out of bounds by Quentin Richardson. And he collided with Henderson. He doubles up in pain. Jameer Nelson motioning to the bench. They get reinforcements in here in a hurry, he said. Richardson shakes it off.
Gerald tried to go back door. Maybe looks like a finger to the eye of Quentin Richardson.
A lot of contact there, not only from Henderson, but from Richardson. 4 on the shot clock now coming back. Temple takes the 3. No. Kwame had the rebound. Cunningham now secures it. We're under a minute to play in the half. Bobcats up 8. Garrett Temple running the show. He's done the whole second quarter. Henderson watches Richardson float by. The jumper doesn't work. And Howard comes away with a rebound. Henderson knew it didn't work as soon as it left his hand. Nelson to Howard inside. And there's contact every play here now on Howard. And this foul's going to be on Dante Cunningham. That's going to be his second. Cunningham with 9. Henderson with 17. His career high, by the way, is 22. And that's well in range.
Well in range.
Gerald Henderson tonight. Strong first half. Howard on the free throw line. Or he's been a lot, understandably, tonight. This will be his 7th attempt. He's hit 4 previous. Howard is Mr. Double-Double. He and Kevin Love up there. He's got 64. They call him the Daily Double. He had a run of 32 broken up by Toronto. A rather inexplicable loss in Toronto, but actually, my understanding is Howard didn't play the entire 4th quarter. And there was no Bogdanovich.
Yeah, 2 of their best players out. Calderon, Bogdanovich.
Yep. Funny things happen in this last.
Especially this time of the year.
Yeah. Here's Temple. Baseline shot. Ooh, tipped by McGuire. He's so good at keeping it alive. 2 seconds. 1 second. Jameer Nelson at the buzzer. 3 ball doesn't go. And the first half comes to an end. Well, the big question going into halftime, with a lead only 6, have we seen all that we're going to see from Dwight Howard tonight? The Bobcats hitting very well, 56% in this first half, even though they only have 2 3-pointers. Playing hard and up by 6 at the break. Jack and a half is next. In part by Sprite, by your Carolina Ford dealers, by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits, it's Bo time, and by Presbyterian Hospital, the Bobcats' official healthcare provider. We're walking back to Charlotte, getting ready to start the 3rd quarter here. Bobcats up 6. Let's take a look at our leaders of the game, brought to you by the United States Marine Corps and Marines.com. Gilbert Arenas leads the Magic, but Gerald Henderson leads the game with 17. 2 double-figure scores for the Magic. Howard with 11. A couple threatening. Dante Cunningham having a strong first half, and DJ White had a strong first half coming in off the bench.
He really did. DJ White was perfect. 3 of 3 from the field and made all 2 of his free throws.
DJ Augustine comes into the second half well rested. He got just about all of the second quarter off. He had the ball out front. Magic in the zone to open up. A lot of teams have done this against the Bobcats, even when they're at full strength. Cunningham, 1 on the shot clock, won't count. Shot clock violation.
Wow. Dwight Howard came over and doubled Boris Diaw on the post. And that just did not allow Boris to throw across the court where the open man was. And the Magic played well in the rotation game. Forced a turnover.
Nelson to Turkoglu. Arenas inside, picked off on the pass to Howard. Arenas has 3 turnovers already. In the front court now, Bobcats have it. Here's Augustine. Cunningham's jumper, no. Arenas with a rebound. Arenas leads the Magic with 16. Here's Jameer Nelson, and he'll bag 3. 6 3-pointer of the night for the Magic, who can get him in a hurry.
Arenas still with point guard skills. He wanted to lob to Dwight Howard. That was taken away, but he knew where Nelson was all along.
On a foul from behind, and it's going to be on Dwight Howard. Trying to pick off the shot of Kwame Brown. So 2 shots coming for Kwame. Bobcats lead trimmed to 3. This is the best 3-point shooting team in the league by makes. 731, counting the 6 they have tonight. By comparison, the Bobcats at 353. Closed captioning for tonight's game is brought to you by Bojangles' famous chicken and biscuits. It's bow time. Bobcats at Miami Friday night. Sunday early evening at 6 back here against Detroit. And a back-to-back at New Jersey. Kwame hits them both. Bobcats up by 5. Brown with 7 points, 4 rebounds. And he's perfect from the stripe. Thanks to the Kwame hits. Inside, it goes to Howard. He gets the ball way deep in there. Throws it up. Bass will knock it out of bounds. Another case of pushing him off his spot and him not being patient.
Good body right there by Kwame, who has the body to get up and challenge Howard. That time, you said it, Steve. Got him off his spot. Just threw that up there.
Diao inside. Henderson reverse. Before either Arenas or Howard could get to it, and Henderson now with 19.
Nice backdoor screen right at that time. Gerald Henderson catch right over the back of the head. Knew where he was all the time on the floor.
DJ Augustine picks up the foul, trying to limit Jameer Nelson. Nelson almost single-handedly pushed the Bobcats out of the playoffs last year. Bobcats did a great job against Dwight Howard, got him in foul trouble, kept him out of double digits or in low double digits. But Jameer Nelson, they didn't have an answer for. Turkoglu from the corner for 3. Kwame tipped the rebound from Howard into the hands of Augustine. Bobcats trying to build another lead here. They led at 1 point by 12. Henderson heads baseline, draws 2 defenders to pass out to Diao. 10 on the shot clock. The floater missed. Kwame couldn't handle the rebound. As Kwame was going one direction, the ball was going in the other.
Good drive by Boris, but Dwight Howard, he knew Dwight was in there, had to lay that high, and Kwame just couldn't. You said it, Steve. He went up, left his feet to try to tip that in. The ball came below, and he just couldn't grab it.
9.5 to play in the third. Brandon Bass gets to that left hand, and we got a whistle and a foul, and it looks like it's going to be an offensive foul on Brandon Bass.
Credit that guy, Kwame Brown. Look at him fight Howard in the post. Look at him move his feet. And look at Boris. I like that. Look, Boris slides right over and gets in the way of Howard. So that's good teamwork right there. That's trusting your teammate. You're going to step up for him, and he covers for you.
Bass has 3 fouls now. Augustine. Diao shot fake. Inside, Augustine floating in the paint. Comes back to Cunningham, and he hits it.
Oh, passed up a couple of shots. But you get it to Dante Cunningham, who's now in double figures. His 5th jump shot of the night.
9-point lead for the Bobcats. Brandon Bass working the baseline over Diao and hits. Nice shot by Bass. He had a bunch of them against the Bobcats first time around. Last 6 games, 13 points. 20 or more on 3 occasions. Boris Diao turns right back to Henderson. Cunningham back to Henderson, lays it up and off. That would have been 21. Jameer Nelson off the rebound by Howard. Cuts down the middle of the lane. Brandon Bass, baseline jump is good. Good mid-range skills, as Delts pointed out, for that young man. Kind of does a little more for them than Rashard Lewis did.
Yeah, Lewis stretched the defense with the 3. Brandon more physical as Boris Diao.
Wow, 3-pointer by Boris, 62-54. But you know, for all his size, Rashard Lewis wasn't necessarily that much of a help for Dwight Howard on board.
No, he certainly wasn't. I think he was a tweener.
Yeah. Here's Turkoglu with a backup. 62-56. You know, their rebounding hasn't fallen off since the trade on December 18th. They still average about 43 rebounds a game. They did make themselves a little smaller. We'll see if that works or not in the playoffs.
Well, I think for them to advance in the playoffs, Dwight Howard will have to play big minutes. He'll have to stay on the floor. Boris Diaw knocks down another triple and gripes to Violet Palmer as it goes through the net.
Man, he shot that from Belmont.
He's got 11 now.
Turkoglu inside ball real deep to Howard. And you've talked about it a lot. If you don't get any pressure on the ball, Howard's going to get the ball where he wants in the paint every time.
Exactly. You cannot let the entry guy have a clean look at where to throw Howard. And that throws Howard off balance and off rhythm. And you bother the ball handler where he can't get a clean pass.
Arenas off the three. Oh. This is the type of display that Arenas used to put on very regularly in Washington. 4 3-pointers on the night. He has 19.
Boy, this shooting display right here in this third quarter. I like it.
It's fun to watch. Dante Cunningham. Rebound saved by Henderson. But it's right out to Turkoglu. Cunningham couldn't control. Nelson with it. Takes the three over Howard. Falls into the lap of Diaw. Bobcats on the rebounding tonight, leading in that category, 23-16. Near the midway point of the third. Bobcats in the lead here by 6. Here's Augustine on the drive. Gets the contact. Ball knocked out of bounds there on a block by Howard. And Howard has moved into the 3-block territory.
CJ's been a little quiet in the game. Good time gets by Nelson, but Howard is right there waiting for him.
With his 4th block and 3 rebounds. There's more blocks than rebounds. 5 on the shot clock. Henderson sets, fires, no. Well, that getting past 20 has become an elusive pursuit for Gerald Henderson. Here's Jameer Nelson. Arenas looks at the post, comes back to Turkoglu. Diaw is there. Turkoglu, 2-pointer inside. Howard avoids the miss. Loose ball foul right off the bat on Cunningham. Timeout on the court. 5:42 to go here in the third. Boris Diaw goes off for 2 3-pointers on back-to-back possessions as the Bobcats take a close game and push it out to 2 possessions. Up 65-59 over the Magic. To go, there are the Lady Cats, the NBA Dance Team contest underway, and your Lady Cats have advanced to the 3rd round of this year's competition. They're taking on the Milwaukee Bucks dance team, Energy. So go to Bobcats.com, cast your vote for the Lady Cats, and help them defend their NBA Dance Team title. That's been 2 years in the making. They beat Miami for the 2nd straight year in the 2nd round. The voting ends at 2 tomorrow. So vote early, now, and often at Bobcats.com. If they win, they move into the Eastern Conference Finals against the New York Knicks.
And they are up 67% to 33%.
Well, so quite a different turnout from the first one when they were trailing most of the night.
Some votes, take them on home.
Here's Howard. Turns in the lane. No shot. Fouls on Kwame Brown. Bobcats had a foul to give there. That's his 2nd for Kwame.
But they're going to try to force feed Dwight Howard here. 5:41 left in this third, not knowing how much more he'll be in this basketball game.
Here's Jameer Nelson. Nelson and Howard are the 2 keys to their playoff run. And then Turkoglu's a close third. The banker by Howard doesn't go. Rebound to Cunningham.
If you can push Dwight Howard just a step out of his sweet spot, it makes a huge difference. That shot was not even close.
Look at that. Indiana by 29 in the third. Here's Anderson. And a foul coming up on Dwight Howard. That's going to be 3. Earlier tonight, Howard picked up his 18th technical of the year, which means he will be suspended for Sunday's game against the Chicago Bulls.
It's an ABC game.
Yeah. Man, Chicago against the midgets. What's going on? Who's going to go? Who goes at center for them? Bass?
That is a very good question.
Anderson on the free throw line. You see some other scores. The Clippers leading Oklahoma City. A lot of teams can clinch tonight. There are a lot of different situations. Of course, we've told you about the Bobcats situation in Indiana. Indiana can clinch tonight if they continue to win and the Bobcats turn around and lose. And now the Bobcats are leading here by 8, doing their best to string this thing out to Friday and maybe more. You thought the last winning streak was improbable. Wait till you see this one. Nelson, top of the floor. Here comes Anderson with the 3. No. Rebound Cunningham. Cunningham coming off a double-double, and he's 2 rebounds away from back-to-back double-double. Augustine at the top. Under 5 to play in the third. Here comes Cunningham. Oh! Couldn't make it go down, but he's going to get fouled. Turkoglu got him. And Dante Cunningham.
I like the aggression. Right here, look at that. Turns the corner. Says, I'm going up top, Turkoglu. Who's got him on the wrist? He's looking at the rim like, how did that not stay down?
He's had a couple of those. Had a bunch of them last night in Cleveland.
Yeah.
As everybody did in the first quarter. Bobcats on the free throw battle. 13 free throws each. And the Bobcats are still perfect on the night in 14 tries. Charlotte looking for their first win over Orlando this season. Orlando has won 11 of the last 12 games between these two, counting the playoffs. And there's the first free throw miss tonight. 68-59 Bobcats. Inside Howard. Backs up on Cunningham and leans over everybody and dunks. I saw the cape that time.
Yeah. Stretched, he's long. That drop step.
Big lump of green on his chest. That's kryptonite.
I'll tell you, he's got it. He got the kryptonite in that sweatband, that headband.
Inside, we've got a whistle and a 3-second violation. He says to Wiley, he said, I jumped from here to here. My jump time doesn't count. It would take Kwame considerably less than 3 seconds to get from one place to the other inside. Here's Jameer. Pass out to Arenas. Nice pass. Inside, wait a second, little travel. A da-da-da for Gilbert Arenas.
Ryan Anderson said, pass the ball, man. I'm wide open.
Stan Van Gundy on the sidelines. One of the more animated coaches in the league. And outspoken, too. He defended his center on a technical foul issue. Kwame Brown out front. 10 on the shot clock. Diaw backs up and hits. He's hit 3 straight. 2 of them have been threes. That's a 2. Bobcats up 9.
Of course, Diaw only took 4 shots in that first half. He's taken 4 already here in the second.
That's 5 for 8 on the night, Del. 2 from behind the arc. Nelson inside. Back to Richardson. Here's Arenas for 3. You know, he turns it over, but when he gives you that, that's all right. 5 3-pointers for Gilbert Arenas, 22 points. Henderson has 21 for the Bobcats. Cunningham has 12. Diaw has 13. Morris with the ball to Kwame. Back out. Cunningham, no. Ryan Anderson with a rebound. 2:48 to play. Richardson inside for Howard. Kwame just gets him off the bead right there. But here's Arenas for 3. No. Rebound Diaw.
Too open that time.
Augustine with the floater. Oh. Dwight Howard declares a no-fly zone. 2:32 left to go here in the third quarter. DJ finds nothing but the cape.
Arena Bobcats are up over the Magic still here in the third quarter, and it's because of Boris Diaw's play here lately. We've seen him knock down shots and also get other players involved. He leads the team so far in assists with 5 already. Well, head coach for the Orlando Magic, Stan Van Gundy, has said on more than one occasion that he really loves Boris Diaw's play. He said he's multi-skilled and contributes so much regardless of what his actual numbers are. He says he helps everybody play well. He's a drive and kick player. You have to guard him because he can definitely shoot it, as we've seen here tonight. But then Coach Van Gundy went on to say, if I were a good offensive player, I would love to play with Boris Diaw. I don't know if you can get a more glowing recommendation from that guy.
Does he take cash or plastic?
I'd have to agree with Stan on that one. I'll say,
I just wish he'd be more selfish.
yeah. On this team, we need him to be more selfish.
Right. I mean, and Stan Van Gundy makes a good point. With a team with a lot of offensive players,
yeah,
the Bobcats don't have, with a Steven Jackson off the floor and a Sean Livingston and a Tyrus Thomas, you don't, your number of offensive players has dwindled quite a bit.
Yeah. I would love to have played with Boris as a shooter.
Oh, yeah. Finally wide open. Misses that one. Yeah, a lot of things can happen tonight. Indiana can clinch. The Bobcats don't look like they're going to let them. San Antonio could clinch the best record in the West with a win and a Lakers loss. New Orleans clinches a playoff spot if they beat Houston. Ryan Anderson there with the miss. Henderson picks it up. Henderson slowed down a bit here in this third after 17 first half points. He has 21. Diaw on the way, up and under, and he got it. Anderson just couldn't get there quick enough.
One of the few times you'll see Boris Diaw go left and finish left. Although he finished with the right, he got it up under the arm of Anderson. It got hit there, but that was a nice finish.
72-64. Boris alleges that he's been hit on every shot. Anderson.
Every player does.
Wow, what a play by Ryan Anderson. He's just not for three balls anymore.
I'm telling you, he's had a dunk, now spin cycle move.
1 for 5 from three. He's been in a kind of a mini slump there. Cunningham at the top. Screen and roll there with Boris. 7 on the shot clock now. Henderson working on Arenas. Backs him down. He'll have to take it. Does and hits it.
Oh, that was a big time move under big time pressure of the shot clock right there.
New career high for Gerald Henderson. Richardson for 3 and he hits it. Quentin Richardson. That's his first basket of the game. And it reduces the Bobcats' lead to 5 with 56 seconds left to go in the quarter.
DJ just hadn't been able to shake Jameer Nelson all night.
That's the first time he did, and he misses the shot.
And it's because of their bigs. They show so well on those screen rolls that we talked about in the first half. They will stay with that ball handle until Nelson and the point guard can catch up, because they know they got number 12 sitting in front of the rim.
And that gives him an added bonus with DJ because of his size, or lack thereof. I mean, and DJ just can't, when he's committed to the right hand or the left hand, and he's trying to get around that hard show, he can't get a good look at the offense.
Let's hope that's the last we see of that guy tonight.
Dwight Howard off the floor. Here's Nelson. I got to get him off the floor. Jameer Nelson gets the 2, and it's a one-possession game, 74-71. The final half minute of this third quarter. Bobcats, when they lead after 3, 19-3. Cunningham to Diaw, past the overplay. Into the corner, Henderson for 3. Yes!
Indy was upset because he came off the down screen, made a nice move. DJ did not give him the ball, but he flared out for Boris, and he'll give it to him and knock down the triple.
77-71, second triple in as many nights. A foul coming up on Augustine. Second triple in as many nights for Gerald Henderson. Augustine, as Dell says, been quiet. Jameer Nelson, the reason. He's getting a pretty good lid on DJ tonight. 1 out of 7. 2 points. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Jameer with the handle and the fade, and it will not go in. And the Bobcats hang on as they got him back up to 10 points at one point in the third. It's now back down to 6. The boss likes it. The Bobcats are up 6, headed into the fourth on the home floor in Charlotte. Quarter by quarter, it's been a while since the Bobcats have thrown 20 in each. They're up 6, headed into the fourth. Right now, when you buy 2 season tickets, you get 2 free. This limited time offer applies to selected seats. So act fast and receive season ticket holder benefits, including your own personal and online account manager, an 8-month payment plan, and playoff priority. Season tickets start at just $6.25 a game. Yeah, buy 2, get 2 free. Why not? Call 704 Bobcats for more information. Orlando 8-22 when they trail headed into the 4th. And they're down here by 6.
Boris Diaw and Gerald Henderson combined for 19 of the 24 points in that quarter of the Bobcats.
3-second violation on Bass as he gave the good shot fake to DJ White, who settled himself. And then when Brandon turned to the 4th chapter of the book, he was called for 3 seconds. Was that an exaggeration?
Nicely put.
DJ White looking inside. No Howard to start the 4th. We may not see him again for Orlando. They got to get their guys ready for the playoffs. Inside turnover by Diaw. Turkoglu picks it off. 2-on-4 break. Quentin Richardson gets it out front. Here's Turkoglu for 3. No. And the rebound knocked out of bounds. It's touched by Cunningham. Temple, Carroll, Diaw, Cunningham, and DJ White. This is the same group that took a 2-point lead and built it to 10 in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and they did it while having a few turnovers in that quarter, but still able to knock down shots.
Chris Duhon from the wing for 3. No. Bass gets the rebound. Turns on the baseline, and wait, we got a whistle. Foul coming up on Bass. Offensive foul, and that's going to be 4 on Brandon Bass.
Foul charge to number 30, Brandon Bass. His 4th personal foul.
And that's the topic for Orlando. They had Bass, they had Gortat, they had Lewis. Traded 2 of those bigs away and came back with smalls instead. Diaw at the top. Garrett Temple. DJ backs in, takes it into the lane over Anderson. No, and Cunningham at the rim to clean it up.
Nice tip in traffic. Turkoglu right there. But Cunningham gets the grip and nice tip.
14 and 9 for Cunningham. Richardson 3, no. Horace with a rebound. Bobcats by 8. Looking to stay alive in this playoff chase. Temple turns the corner. Carroll baseline behind Cunningham. 2 more.
Knew it was good. Got the pump fake, fly by, rhythm dribble. Matt Carroll knocks it down.
Stan Van Gundy about to deliver the "if you dare me, I'll put Howard back in" speech. Matt Carroll 2 off the baseline. Bobcats increase their lead over the Magic to 10. Pushed by Gerald Henderson's 2nd 3 in as many nights. The Bobcats with a 7-0 run. And they lead by 10. Just 2 more home games remaining in the regular season for your Bobcats. Sunday night at 6, the Pistons are in town. And then the season finale next Wednesday against the Atlanta Hawks. Visit Bobcats.com to purchase your tickets today. Bobcats missing some firepower again. Only 9 players available in this game for the Bobcats. Steven Jackson, Tyrus Thomas, they're all out. Sean Livingston, Eduardo Nahara, Ghana Job. Richardson out front. Got to buy a half page in the Observer to show how many people are out. Brandon Bass down the lane, twists, turns, fires, and hits. And he worked hard for that.
He really did. The Bobcats did a good job of shutting down the initial play coming out of that timeout. But Bass puts his head down, gets the pump fake, knocked down a tough jumper.
8-point lead. Cunningham off a screen set by White. Re-screen. Cunningham, no. Rebound to Richardson. Dante Cunningham with 14. Gerald Henderson to start tonight with 26, a career high in his 2nd season. Duhon drops it off for Turkoglu. Here comes 3. That's the 10th triple of the night for Orlando. 81-76. The big difference here, Dell, though, is Bobcats have 5 themselves. There's the 3-point damage right there. Orlando, 38th time with 10 or more threes in a game. Temple, back to White. Here's Diaw from the corner. Takes it into the lane. Anderson played good defense. Duhon back the other way. The Magic have drawn to within 5. Pass on the baseline. Carroll to defend. Anderson lifts the three from the corner and hits it. The 11th three of the night for Orlando, his second, and it's a 2-point game. Paul Silas wants a timeout at the 8:44 mark here in the fourth. Bobcats up 10. They have watched Orlando run off 8 unanswered points.
Back inside Time Warner Cable Arena, the Orlando Magic have cut the lead. It's only 2 now for the Charlotte Bobcats, and you may wonder, what do they have to play for in this instance? The bench players have come and done exceptionally well, and there's a reason for that, guys. Yes, they're locked into the 4th spot. They can't move up. They're not likely to move down either, but these bench players are lobbying for minutes. The playoffs will begin very shortly, and believe me, they know Stan Van Gundy is monitoring every single thing they're doing.
All right, now they've made a nice 8-0 run, and they've crept back into this thing. Henderson fighting off Quentin Richardson, and Richardson's made it a point to D up on him, and now Richardson and Henderson are about to get in it, and Richardson punked him out. He's got to be gone for this one. Quentin Richardson's just upset. Henderson's tattooed everybody over there for 26.
Yeah.
So this is their answer to slow it down. If Quentin Richardson remains in this game, and here comes Bennett Salvador to clear this up.
This is an easy one.
Now this is an easy one. He punked out. Now Kwame Brown has to get out of the way for fear of being.
Look, he's holding Henu to start with.
Yep.
There's the play.
He's fouled him every second of this possession. Every second of this possession, Quentin Richardson has fouled him. And if they don't toss him.
Oh, yeah. He's going. Yeah.
He's going.
He won't play on Sunday either. No way. That was a shot to the face, man.
Have a seat, young man. We'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah, he's already got his shirt tail out. He knows it's coming. I mean, that's just that was just a motion to make sure Gerald shot the ball, and then look, first finger in the face.
And Tony Brothers can't be any closer to this. There you go. Gone.
That?
See ya.
And I like what Kwame did too. Look at it. I like what Kwame did in there. Step in, protect your teammate. Let him know he's not by himself.
And now they're going to sort it all out here. Tony Brothers had a ringside seat to all of that. It was
yeah.
Richardson, Henderson nose to nose, and on the shoulder was Tony.
Perfect triangle.
Yeah. So this they can't miss. Richardson just let Henderson get to him. That's all you can explain. He fouled him every second of that possession. Tag, rip, pull, elbow, push, point in his face, push again. And all Gerald did was score 26.
Yeah. I like what Kwame did right there. Finger in the eye? What is that about, man?
Yeah. Kwame made sure there was no more damage to be done.
He's done this game. That's going to.
Question is he going to be able to play Sunday? Already Dwight Howard's out.
I could see no way he could play Sunday after that. First he put a finger in the eye, then a shove to the face. He's out of here. That's checkbook. That's everything. That's uncalled for.
So Richardson picks up a pair of technicals and has been ejected. So Richardson's gone for the night. I guess what they're going to try to determine is whether Kwame Brown should be teed up. So they're going to have a double technical here on Hedo Turkoglu and Kwame Brown.
And on Bobcats, Kwame Brown.
And that's going to be the result of that. Now Matt Carroll comes in as the peacemaker, so they're trying to separate this out. These replays being shown by the home team here, as is the custom. The home team, meaning our production truck and our producer Ken Neal, and direct communication with Bennett Salvatore, and Bennett can ask for as many replays as he wants. The question is, does Quentin Richardson have a shot to play on Sunday?
I think no way.
These guys won't be able to determine that. That'll be determined somewhere else. That'll be determined in New York.
But in my opinion, that's considered like a punch. I mean, anytime you put your hands in another player's face.
And the officials are going to take enough time here to make sure that when the report goes to the league, that they know exactly what to do.
So Gerald Henderson does nothing. He wants to make sure that he's in a shooting motion.
It's poked
where
in
the
the
foul's going to look poked in the eye.
And Tony Brothers sees that. You can tell he's screened, but he's got his whistle in his mouth.
Look at that. That's ridiculous.
And then Kwame says, "You want to take somebody on? Here, I'm available.
Yeah.
Come get me." Now we got to see if anybody's going to shoot foul shots here. I mean, there is a foul above all else. I mean, Henderson needs to go to the free throw line because he was fouled by Quentin Richards.
He's saying, what did he do? Gerald Henderson, what did I do to get a technical?
Did he get a technical?
Shooting the technical for your Bobcats,
DJ Augustine. I'm not sure why Henderson got the technical. Augustine makes the shot. It's 82-79. They hadn't announced that.
No, I think.
Bobcats get the ball with 14 seconds. They have not called it. To my knowledge, they haven't called a technical on Henderson. Why he's not at the free throw line? Because what he was trying to do was get the shot. And to make sure he was going to take the shot to get on the foul line.
Yeah,
here comes Augustine up and under. No. Bass gets the rebound.
They did call a technical on Gerald Henderson. For what? I don't know.
That's unbelievable. These guys have been a step short and $1 off most of the night. Duhon at the top. To the wing. Arenas tips to Bass. Shot clock now down to 5. Here's Bass underneath. And a foul coming up on Kwame Brown, I think.
Intensity just picked up in this game.
And that's 3 on Kwame Brown. I'm mystified why Henderson picked up a tee and why he doesn't go to the free throw line for 2 for the original violation.
Right.
Should have been a foul. And out of that, it should have been personal foul.
Brothers blew his whistle. It was a foul. The play stopped. He called a foul.
All right, Stephanie Reddy may be able to help clear this up a little bit.
Well, guys, when we looked at the replay, you could see, as you mentioned, Steve Martin, that Gerald Henderson was being fouled the entire play before the actual whistle was blown. But then if you notice, there was verbal exchange between the two, which leaded up to the physical altercation.
Yeah, that still doesn't pass the smell test with me. Augustine goes to Henderson. I mean, trash talking is not illegal. Contact and elbowing and poking people in the eye is. Henderson down the lane, and now we got a whistle. Can we have a shot for the young man, please? And no, it's going to be a team foul. Arenas, it's going to be before the shot. Arenas picks up his 3rd. Matt Carroll out. And Dante Cunningham back in. Cunningham 1 rebound away from a double-double. His 2nd in as many nights. DJ inside to Kwame. Kwame turns and hits.
Nice catch. Gathered himself, felt the contact, and then laid it nicely off the glass.
84-81. Bobcats in the lead here, trying to stay alive in the East playoff chase. Indiana is up big on Washington, so the Bobcats have to help themselves here. No help coming from Washington. Here's Bass. Cunningham waiting to double. Bass goes baseline, up and under reverse. The shot is good. They beat the shot clock. Brandon Bass on the baseline, and he got fouled to boot. And here's how important Stan Van Gundy thinks this is. Dwight Howard's coming back.
Yeah, wow. Look at this play. Big play by Brandon Bass.
Wow.
He held the ball, let the shot clock almost expire, made his move. Fired up and in as it went off and fouled.
Bass for the three-point play to tie this game up at 84.
You think that altercation had anything to do with Stan Van Gundy saying, okay, fellas, we're going to try to win this game? Howard, Jameer Nelson checking back in now.
Yeah, got their attention, that's for sure. Inside, DJ White faces Howard. Here comes Henderson in the corner, fires the shot. No. Rebound, Turkoglu. Well, Henderson hasn't scored since the confrontation. And here comes Turkoglu back the other way for Orlando. Turkoglu down the lane. The runner is good. The Magic in the lead. Yeah, I guess it makes sense that Howard comes back. He's not playing Sunday.
That's a great point.
Not playing Sunday, so might as well play here. Augustine. Here's DJ White. Back to Augustine. They're looking at the post. Howard has 3 fouls, now 4. And Kwame was shooting. Nelson comes on the floor, Duhan out.
You can feel the intensity in the building now from the fans to the players. We got a ball game.
Hey, we may or may not get to the playoffs, but this is a playoff game. There's no doubt about it. Kwame with the hitch and the miss. Friday, while the Bobcats take on the Heat, log on to FoxSportsCarolinas.com for the Bobcats Game Lounge, presented by Jack in the Box. See what's got your fellow fans talking in the live chat and share your own comments. It's this Friday at 7:30 in the Bobcats game on FoxSportsCarolinas.com. Kwame 1 out of 2. 86-85, Magic by 1.
Had Kwame missed that, he would have had another opportunity. Jameer Nelson was standing beside Kwame as he let that go.
Turkoglu at the top. He'll take the jumper, hits it. Turkoglu with 2 big shots here in the 4th. And the Magic now lead it by 3. Timeout Charlotte with 5:55 left to go in the 4th quarter. Bobcats do not want to see this effort go by the wayside. Timeout on the court will take it with them. Magic by 3 over the Bobcats. Taking the Bobcats with a 17-4 run. They've hit all 6 field goal attempts in that span. And here's the importance of this game. The Pacers are winning big at home against Washington. If the Pacers win and the Bobcats lose, not only are the Bobcats gone, but the Bucks are out of the playoff race as well. So the Bobcats have to win. Now, if the Bobcats win, Pacers win, Bucks still out, Bobcats live for another day. But their magic number goes down to 1. And Indiana has home games remaining with New York and Atlanta. And then they visit Orlando.
Both teams with their starters back on the floor. They'll go the rest of the distance.
5:45 to play. Augustine heads into the lane. Bass trying to foul, but can't. Here's Augustine at the elbow. The jumper, no good. Rebound, it was Cunningham who tried to dunk it back in, but had the ball knocked away.
Yeah, he had a clean dunk. Howard just able to get his hand on it, knock it out. EJ now 1 of 9 in this game.
Gilbert Arenas on the floor. He's been magnificent, but that ball thrown away by Turkoglu. And Henderson may have slowed Arenas up getting to the corner.
I think also Turkoglu led him too far. Sometimes one player thinks he knows what his teammate's going to do. Led him too far.
Here comes Augustine. Ooh, Cunningham has walked the tightrope on that one. 5 on the shot clock now. Porras guarded by Bass. Takes it inside, puts the shot up. Traveled with the ball. Turnover for the Bobcats. It's going to be their 12th. Orlando's had 13.
Well, Boris up against the shot clock right here, trying to make something happen. His left foot was a pivot foot. You saw him drag it just a bit.
Oh, not far.
No.
Here's Turkoglu. Under 5 to play. Turkoglu's been big this quarter. There's the runner. No. Rebound Howard, but he pushed out to get it. No. They're going to call Cunningham for the reach-in foul.
Cunningham had it. Howard hooked.
Howard pushed him clean out of the play.
Yeah, you can clear. That was clear.
Oh, my goodness. Watch this.
Watch Howard. Look at that. Just snow plowing him out of there.
Oh, my goodness. That was not a very good call.
Well, Cunningham had him hooked, but I think Howard was the one that was holding on.
And Jameer Nelson gets a basket off it. 90-85. Magic by 5 with 4:27 left to go. Here comes Augustine. Henderson off a screen. Back now to Diao. Cross court Cunningham. Can't get the shot off. Inside Diao backs away from Howard. Just point to point here. 5 on the shot clock and inside. Henderson is fouled.
Wow, I like that. Gerald Henderson posts up, says, Boris Diaw, throw me the basketball. Give me space. Look at that. Quick swim move right around Gilbert Arenas, who's stuck flat-footed. And all the Magic can do is put that young fellow on the free throw line.
He blew by Arenas.
Tell you what.
Pass had to come over and get him. Picked up his 5th foul. Henderson on the free throw line. Matches.
Yes, sir.
90-86. There's the 4th quarter score. Indiana running and hiding on the Washington Wizards. Why? Because they can.
Woo. They're laying the wood to him.
They're putting the pressure on the Bobcats now. And Bobcats starting to feel it here. Down 3 in the 4th with 4:07 to play. To one of the top teams in the East. A team that's had their number over the last, over 7 years, really. Here's Nelson. Takes the jumper. Oh, boy. What a nice shot by Jameer Nelson.
Boy, you talk about the playoff feel in the building right now. That was what we saw a lot of last year in the playoffs. Jameer Nelson just running that pick and roll to perfection.
I got to say, Orlando's doing a good job defensively here. Here's the DJ in and off. Tap by Kwame, no. Turkoglu gets the rebound, 3:30 to go. Augustine 1 of 10 tonight and only 3 points. After 20 or more in the last 3. Jameer Nelson, top of the floor. Screen and roll with Brandon Bass. He goes away, replaced by Howard. 5 on the shot clock. Nelson, clutch jumper, no. Rebound tipped by Howard, taken by Henderson. Bobcats 3-on-3 ahead of the play. Dion for 2.
Nice play, Gerald Henderson. Head up. The defense knows Gerald Henderson has the hot hand. He draws everybody, lays it off to Boris.
Crowd on their feet. 2:51 to go. Turkoglu, top of the floor, looking for some room from Cunningham. Ball turned over on the pass to Bass. 92-89, Bobcats with the ball down 3. Hey, this is a good lab for Orlando, I'll tell you that. They may not have Richardson or Howard on Sunday, but they're going to play it out and get a playoff feel in this one. Cunningham shoots, misses. Rebound Bass. Man, that looked good.
Yeah, that was a good look for Dante, right in his wheelhouse. Just came up a little short.
Here's Nelson down the lane, up and under. What a play by Jameer Nelson. 94-89, and now the clock into play with 2:13 to go.
That little guy loves crunch time. He can make plays.
Bobcats playoff hopes could die right here. Kwame Brown inside. Henderson all alone. He's got 30. 94-91. 1 possession game, 2 to play.
Gilbert Arenas cannot stay with Gerald Henderson. A nice screen as well.
They have to send Bass over to help. And he's got 5 fouls.
He's been struggling all night defensively. Stan Van Gundy's been on him quite a bit.
Oh, Nelson broke free in the lane. Turkoglu for 3. No! Rebound Bass. Foul on Kwame. Fourth foul on Kwame Brown. And Brandon Bass is going to the line.
You see Boris challenge the shot nicely, and that leaves Brandon Bass free to run to the offensive boards, and that ball fell right in his lap.
Well, Bass hit the 3-point play that gave Orlando their first lead here in the second half. And now he's trying to push it away with a free throw here. Bass with 16, all 5 starters for Orlando, plus Ryan Anderson off the bench in double figures. Bass again. Gilbert Arenas leads Orlando with 22. The Bobcats led by Gerald Henderson's 30-point performance. But it still may not be enough. 90 seconds to go here, and the Bobcats are down 5. Henderson, catch, shoot. Rebound, Howard.
Boy, that was a good look. Timing was just a second off. Gerald Henderson was open. Boris gave it to him just a second late. I think that threw him off just a bit. That ball was halfway down.
Here's Nelson. Looking for Howard. Comes back to Turkoglu. Hides in the corner for 3. No. Rebound. Fought for. Knocked out of bounds. It's going to be Bobcats ball. Last off Turkoglu. And Charlotte will likely take a timeout here with a minute and 02. Minute and 2 to go. 20-second timeout taken by the Bobcats. Paul Silas now has to plot what's left. Charlotte has 1 timeout remaining. And Orlando has 3. They have a full and 2:20.
Charlotte's dodged a couple of bullets. Turkoglu's had 2 good looks in that left corner.
You know, it's that screen and roll action is pretty complex. They'll get the screen and roll at the top, and Howard will disappear, and you'll think that they're going to throw to him. Instead, Nelson sees all the way to the corner 2 times in a row to Turkoglu wide open.
Well, they spread the court very well, and Howard screen, he rolls. And with the court spread so much, Jameer Nelson is able to see Howard. He can see right over the top or in the strong side corner. So he has options, and that's why Nelson is such a tough cover, because he keeps his dribble alive, and he knows when it's time to take a shot or pass to a teammate.
Bobcats going to get the ball in front court. They can move it on the 20. 96-91, Orlando in the lead. The Bobcats have led a good long time in this game, but then in the 4th quarter, Orlando, by virtue of the 3-ball, came right back into this game. And then there was an altercation that seems to have tipped the scales in Orlando's favor, despite the double technical to Quentin Richardson. Diaw, 10 on the shot clock. Diaw through the lane, dropped it to Kwame. Kwame hits it! Oh, boy. That's happened twice tonight.
That play was going nowhere until Boris Diaw, he said, I'm going to turn the corner, jump in the air, and see what happens. And he found this big guy, knocked down the jumper.
Crowd on their feet again. Bobcats 1 possession back. Here comes that high screen and roll. Kwame shows on it. They'll have to go away from Turkoglu this time. Here's Nelson. Pass deflected. Stolen by Henderson. Henderson takes it baseline. Goes up with it. No. Kwame with a rebound. DJ with a jumper for 3 to tie it. Oh my. 16.6 left to go. DJ Augustine 1 for 10 and drills the biggest shot of the night.
Do it, big fella. Do not be discouraged. Amnesia when it comes to shooting the basketball. When your team needs it the most, you tee it up and knock it down.
What 9 misses?
Look at this, Gerald Henderson, nice drive right there. The block, but look at presence of mind of Kwame, offensive rebound. That's when you want a 3. DJ dialed in right at the top. But look at Kwame. How about that on the defensive end? He got it started. Gerald Henderson, hesitation, baseline. Howard's right there to meet him. Kwame says, I got 3 guys around me. Somebody is open. And it was 14.
Did you see the bench?
No.
Before the shot, bench is up like this. Unbelievable. Everybody knew it was coming, and just like you said, Del, best time for a 3 is after an offensive rebound. And you mentioned it, Kwame with the original deflection to get the ball out on defense, and then the deflection off the offensive rebound to get it into DJ's hand.
Yeah. So now the Bobcats will need another big defensive stand, and the Magic will probably go back to that same pick and roll, which worked. That was the only turnover in the quarter.
Except that last time, because again, Kwame Brown showed up high, and that forced him away from Turkoglu, and then Nelson had to redirect.
But Kwame, he's got to trust his teammates to know if he releases Howard and stays with the ball handler, he's got to have help on the backside.
Exactly. And you know, that oftentimes, that has been happening.
Yeah.
And that's why they've been leaving Turkoglu, because that man has come over to catch Howard down the lane.
Exactly.
And well-designed play, really, for Orlando. Bobcats defended it well last time around. 16.6 left to go. Will we go overtime? Will the Bobcats steal and score? Or will Orlando kill the Bobcats' hopes of going to the playoff for the second straight time?
Orlando will probably wait, run this clock down. They'll either go to overtime or go home with a win.
Here's Nelson. Augustine with a steal. Augustine one-on-one. Heads to the basket. No! The ball game ends, and we're headed into overtime. Oh! DJ Augustine had no time to wait for help. He had to go to the basket.
Well, what a defensive effort. Look at this. Move his feet. Takes a gamble and pays off right here. Shoot with your left. Oh! He could have kept Jameer Nelson on his. Look, he could use that right shoulder and kept it into Jameer Nelson. Gone up with the left. He may have gotten an opportunity to get that shot up and in.
Well, either way, for the first time this season, the Bobcats have gone north of 90. And we're headed into overtime, where Charlotte is 3-1 in the extra session. More to come from Charlotte. This is Bobcats basketball on Sports South. Charlotte, we're headed to overtime. You thought this was going to be an early night. Here's that last play. Nelson with the score tied. Augustine with a steal.
And again, Steve, he could have just kept Jameer Nelson on his right side, and that way he could have protected his shot and shot it with the left. Could have laid that up and in, but going up and under allowed Jameer Nelson to bother his shot without fouling. He couldn't get it over the rim.
Bobcats and Magic have played in a playoff setting here tonight. And for the Bobcats, they got to put it all out here, because Indiana is crushing Washington. And if the Pacers continue to win, now it's a final. Indiana 136, Washington 112. There can be no other acceptable finish than a win here for the Bobcats, who are 3-1 in overtime, while the Magic are 2-3.
And now that you can bet the Pacers are in their locker room around the TV watching this game right here. Because you can take off in front of that Pacers win.
The Bucks are already headed off season because the Pacers win puts them out, no matter what happens here. So Indiana has put Milwaukee out of the race. And if Orlando wins this one, Charlotte will be out with them. But maybe, just maybe, the Bobcats can come back here. Dwight Howard playing big minutes tonight because he's not going to play Sunday. Picked up his 18th technical earlier in the game and will draw a one-game suspension, his second such. You get one with every technical foul of an even number above 16 and above. Diaw at the top. Here's Henderson, who's been tremendous tonight with 30. 4 Bobcat starters in double figures. Here comes Henderson taking on Howard. He'll pass to Augustine, 2-1. And a shot clock violation.
Gerald Henderson had the mismatch, and he starts dribbling between his legs. He's got to take that shot. He cannot pass it off to DJ with 2 seconds. I'd love to see him. And again, that's another part of growing in his game, able to get by big guys when he has a mismatch.
Turkoglu, who is a big problem for the Bobcats in the fourth. Here's another steal by Cunningham. Lost the ball out of bounds. It's not under control. Bobcats have an ace in a hole at the end of the bench. Michael Jordan, team owner. He's been on Bennett Salvatore, and any official has been in that area all night long. He often says to his players, he said, look, stay off the officials. They can't tee me up. They can't throw me out. Nelson, top of the floor. 8 on the shot clock. Passes off Arenas. Arenas hits the 3. Gilbert Arenas with 6 triples on the night has 25.
And been kind of quiet this second half. Only 6 points. That was a big 3.
We would have preferred him to stay that way. Here's Henderson. Diaw drops to Cunningham. No. And Howard gets the rebound. That was a good look by Dante.
Yeah.
99-96, Orlando. Nelson, big shot after big shot. He's had 2 in the fourth quarter and 1 more here in the overtime. Orlando up by 5.
Boy, quickness to a spot, and then he backs up, step back. That was an aggressive jumper.
Don't underestimate his importance to them in the playoff. Here's Diaw, shuns the 3 for 2 from Cunningham, missed again. Nelson up in the front court. If the Bobcats lose, their playoff push ends. Turkoglu, Howard, timeout coming for the Bobcats here as they've fallen 7 behind here in overtime. Full timeout coming for the Bobcats. This undermatched team, a team that's missing its leading scorer, one of its leading shot blockers. And they finally run into an Orlando team that's figured out how important this game is to their own cause for playoffs. And they're taking charge. Magic have taken charge, 103-96. And the Bobcats are in trouble here.
Well, that was not your normal pick and roll with Turkoglu and Howard. Jameer was in the strong side corner, so you really couldn't help. Help had to come from the weak side and throw a lob up to the White Howard. There's really no help against that.
Now this undermanned crew has played hard here tonight against one of the best teams in the East. Here's a catch and shoot. Gerald Henderson, no. The Bobcats have missed their last 4 shots. And they're down 7. And a little bit of the bounce has gone from the step here. They need to stop. There's still time to get back into this thing. Got to make sure that this man gets no more. Here is Bass out front. Big basket. Brandon Bass. He gave him the lead in the 4th, and he's got him up by 9. This is their biggest lead of the game.
Yeah, 9-0 run here in the overtime period. Bobcats got to get something in the paint.
Cunningham taking a look at Kwame. 3 possessions. You got to get going here in a hurry. Augustine with him behind the back, shakes off Nelson. We got a whistle and a foul. It's going to be on Jameer Nelson. It's 2 on him. That's first team foul. And they're just outside of 2 minutes, so they got a foul to give here. They've got a couple if they can do it in 17 seconds. Henderson. Nice pass to Kwame. Gives it up to Diaw inside. Cunningham can't get it. 5 on the shot clock. Henderson's got to take it. Goes inside and score. He took it right to Howard. 32 for Hendo. 105-98. Orlando in the lead here in overtime. Indiana has already won. Nelson, who's been magnificent, takes the 3. Oh! He called bank. Jameer Nelson with 18 and 9 assists. 5 of 6 in the 4th quarter and overtime for 11 points. 108-98, the lead is 10. DJ Augustine from the elbow. Bobcats have only hit 1 shot in overtime, and that was from point-blank range from Gerald Henderson. And the Magic are just a minute 22 from sweeping the Bobcats and sweeping them out of playoff competition or qualification.
Saw that graphic, the Magic perfect in overtime, 5 of 5 from the field.
Got a tie up here, I think. Be a jump ball between Brandon Bass and Gerald Henderson. Well, we've had everything in this game. We've had a one-man fight. Quentin Richardson tried to carry on. Here's Arenas for 3. No. Cunningham beats Turkoglu to the rebound. Minute and 3. No time to waste. Trying to find the right shot. You get one, you take it. Augustine into the corner. Here's Cunningham. Short jumper baseline. 108-100. 52 seconds left to go. Now the Magic will want to take time off the clock here. Nelson and Augustine dueling at midcourt. Shot clock down to 12. Turkoglu takes the three. Got it. Game, set, match. 111 to 100. 32 seconds left to go. And the Bobcats have just seen their chances of a repeat playoff appearance go by the wayside. Cunningham shot in and out. Orlando knocks the rebound out of bounds, but there's only 20 seconds left to go. Our Sprite player of the game with a career high, Gerald Henderson, 32 points, 12 of 22 from the field, perfect on the foul line. What a night for Gerald Henderson.
Yeah, 5 rebounds, 3 assists to boot.
Got Quentin Richardson tossed.
Yeah.
Here's Kwame inside, takes the dunk. 111-102. But the playoff hunt is over for Charlotte. Indiana has beaten Washington, so the Bobcats and the Bucks are out of the playoff chase. And the field is set in the East. Orlando prevails in overtime and wins 111-102. The final here in Charlotte. The Magic sweep the season series in 4 straight. They've won 12 of their last 13. You know, the Bobcats may have had their first ever win against the Magic. The Magic have never let them forget it ever since. Bobcats Live to recap all the fun we've had tonight. It's coming your way next right here on Sports Center.